Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahe Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Muttama Shloke Bhakti Rabhavati Nashtaki. Rendraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. So we're reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 3rd Canto, 24th chapter, titled as Renunciation of Kardama Muni. Text number 27. So Lord Kapila is instructing to Kardama Muni and he is explaining him about the purpose of his appearance on this planet. So Kardama Muni is a great sannyasi, great Vaishnava devotee, and he's about to take renunciation and spend his remainder of the life for Krishna consciousness. And before departing for the spiritual journey, Kardama Muni meets Bhagavan Kapila, who is the incarnation of Lord Krishna and who has appeared as a son in the family of Kardama Muni. In the previous shloka, Kapila Bhagavan or Kapila Dev instructed Kardama Muni that he has appeared for spreading of Sāṅkhya philosophy, which is nothing but the devotional service, the science of self-realization. And by this philosophy, by following the teachings of Kapila Dev from the Sāṅkhya philosophy, one can liberate oneself from the entanglement of repeated birth and death. So in the previous shloka, Kapila Dev instructs that he has appeared to spread this philosophy. Etan me janma lokosmin mumukshan nurashaya prasankhyanaya tattva sammataya darshani sammatyatma darshani. So he has said that my appearance in this world is specially to explain the philosophy of Sāṅkhya, which is highly esteemed for the self-realization, by those desiring freedom from the entanglement of unnecessary material desires. So if you really are serious, then this teaching of Kapila Dev are very important for our life. Further, he highlights the purpose of his teachings. He says here in the shloka, 37th shloka, Eshatma patho avyakto nashtakalena bhuyasha tam pravadhyayitum deham vividhamaya ima vidhi maya bhutam. Eshatma patho avyakto nashtakalena bhuyasa tam pravarto yaha deha imam vidhi maya bhutam. Esha atmapatha avyaktam. Atmapath means the path of self-realization. So here Kardama Dev Bhagavan Kapila is saying that this Atmapatha, the path of self-realization, is very difficult to understand. But avyakta means difficult. And it has been lost. Nasta kalena bhuyasha. The path of self-realization is difficult, and again, as people do not follow it over the period of time, it gets lost. Kalena bhuyasha, in the course of time. That is why tam pravartya itum deham imam vidhi maya brutam. And that is why Bhagavan Kapila, have assumed this body to introduce this, or you can say reintroduce this. Pravartya yutam. Lord has appeared to introduce and explain this philosophy of self-realization to the society at large. So this path of self-realization, which is Sāṅkhya Yoga, is very important. And as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam shrujamyaham परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि. Lord appears for the re-establishment of dharma again and again. So here Lord has appeared as Bhagavan Kapila to reintroduce the path of self-realization, Sāṅkhya philosophy. Srila Prabhupada is explaining this in detail. Prabhupada says, it is not true that Sāṅkhya philosophy is a new system of philosophy introduced by Kapila, as material philosophers introduce new kind of mental speculative knowledge to pursue, to supersede that another philosophy. So here Prabhupada is saying that this Sāṅkhya philosophy was pre-existing. It is nothing new which Bhagavan Kapila is introducing. Nowadays people, they counteract one philosophy and introduce another just to prove that they are better than others. This is not like that. On the material platform, everyone, especially the mental speculator, tries to be more prominent than others. The field of activity of speculators is mind. Now in the modern world, Kali Yuga, everybody is speculating. This might be like that, that might be like that. This is what the hypothesis is. But everything is on the mental platform, and mind is not a trustworthy friend of human being. Whenever we think with the mind, when we work with mind, we have to be very careful, because sometimes the thoughts in mind come are dangerous. They're not good. So one should be very, very careful. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this mind can be your friend or enemy. When this mind is guided by the intelligence, it becomes your friend. When the same mind is guided by the itself, random mind, it can be a real problem. So these mental speculators are always working on the mental platform, and that creates a big hassle. There is no limit to different ways in which one can agitate the mind, and thus one can put forward an unlimited number of theories. Mental speculation is like that. Sāṅkhya philosophy is not like that. It is not a mental speculation. It is the factual. But at this time of Kapila, it was lost. So he has come back to reintroduce this science of Sāṅkhya philosophy. In due course of time, a particular type of knowledge may be lost or may be covered for time being. That is the nature of this material world. Nature of the material world is that if you don't use it, it will deteriorate. So over the period of time when people don't follow a particular type of knowledge, philosophy, then it disappears. So same was with the Sāṅkhya philosophy. That is why this path of self-realization, or Sāṅkhya Yoga, which is the Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavan Kapila came to introduce. A similar statement was made by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Sa kalene mahata yogo nasta parantapaha. This is the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna why did he appear. That this he says that imam parampara praptim, evam parampara praptim, imam rajarshayo vidu sa kalene mahata yogo nasta parantapaha. So this Bhagavad Gita also similarly was lost. And then Krishna came to reintroduce the science of Bhagavad Gita. The time factor is so pressing that in course of time, everything within the material world is spoiled or lost. So time, Krishna says, Kal is very prabal. It destroys everything. So the yoga system of Bhagavad Gita was lost before the meeting of Krishna and Arjuna. And therefore, Krishna once again enunciated the same ancient yoga system to Arjuna, who could actually understand Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, Kapila also said that the system of Sāṅkhya philosophy was not exactly being introduced by him, It was already current, but in due course of time it was mysteriously lost. And therefore he appeared to introduce it. That is the purpose of incarnation of Godhead. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Dharma means real occupation of living entity. Dharma doesn't mean the Hindu Dharma, Muslim Dharma like that. What is the real occupation? Real occupation is to understand Krishna and spend life in Krishna consciousness. When there is a discrepancy in eternal occupation of living entity, the Lord comes and reintroduces the occupation, real occupation of life. Any so-called religious practice that is not in line of service is called as dharma sanstapana. When people forget their eternal relationship with God and engage in something other than devotional service, their engagement is called as irreligion. What is a religion? Religion is to understand who am I. I am a spirit soul, and this is the path of self-realization. The path of self-realization means that understanding our identity, that we are Atma and we are a part and parcel of Paramatma. And the duty, the religion of Atma is to serve Paramatma. That is the real religion. So, any practice which connects you with Krishna, that is the real religious practice. How one can get out of the miserable condition of material life is stated in Sāṅkhya philosophy. And the Lord himself is explaining this sublime science. So Lord Kapila has appeared again to reintroduce this path of self-realization. And Srila Prabhupada explains throughout this a book called as Path of Science of Self-Realization, where Prabhupada very nicely explains this process of self-realization. And the best way to do is by chanting the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it purifies our heart and removes all the material distress from our heart. Also, by studying the Vedic scriptures, we can understand the science of self-realization, like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is a perfect book which teaches the science of soul and how we surrender to Krishna. So, and then associating with the devotees is very important to understand the path of self-realization. Satsanga, continuous engagement in devotional service, offering the food to Krishna, participating in temple worship, kirtan programs, sharing Krishna consciousness with others. Living regulated life, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit relationship outside marriage life. All these are the steps or the way of self-realization. And we have to be very, very careful about material things, because material things are the things which takes us away from the path or journey of self-realization. So self-realization is the ultimate purpose of human life. And we have to understand it very seriously and re-establish our lost relationship with Krishna. We'll pause here. We'll continue our study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam tomorrow. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.